I am
It's
on page 436, Commissioners.
That's a protocol on the search, seizure, handling, processing and disposition of illicit drugs. Are you familiar with this document?
I've read this document after I've received it from the Commission, and over and above that, some of the portions of it, I recall them, that this is one of the procedures that needs to be followed. But I see it was signed in 2016. I might not be aware when have I seen it, other than seeing it again now recently with the Commission. So, but in terms of us seizing the drugs and everything, we know basically what needs to happen, Commissioners.
Are you saying that this was the first time you've seen it when the Commission provided it to you?
I've never said that. I'm saying I might have seen it, but I don't remember. I see it was signed in 2016. And I saw it to read it when it was provided by me, by the Commission. Not that I've never seen it before. I may have seen it.
You may have seen it before.
Yes.
You just don't recall. Okay.
Yes, Commissioners.
All right. So you read it when it was provided to you by the Commission.
Correct, Commissioners.
Okay. And then the second document is at 446, and that, if you go there.
You say page?
446.
I see, Commissioners.
And it reads National Instruction 1 of 2015, Crime Scene Management. Have you seen this document before?
Correct.
Before the Commission provided?
Correct, Commissioners.
Okay. Thanks. So let's turn to the content of your statement. It relates to a seizure of cocaine, if I understand correctly, about half a ton of cocaine. Is that right?
Correct, Commissioners.
Where exactly was it seized?
Isipingo, Commissioners. There is a depot. There at the harbour, there are depots there around the harbour where containers are stored. So in one of the depots there, the members received information and they went to the depot. Actually, I'm just looking for the name of exactly of the storage depot facility. It's a warehouse, not warehouse security staff. I want the actual name, but it is there at Isipingo depot.
It's a warehouse for containers, for shipping containers.
It's something like that.
Okay. And when drugs, particularly of that amount and that size, are seized, where would they normally be stored?
As I've indicated in my evidence on Tuesday, Commissioners, when we seize these drugs, normally they are supposed to be stored either at the police station, but from there they must be taken to the forensic science laboratory.
I'm glad you reminded me of that. If we could just turn back to that protocol I showed you, just to refresh your memory. On page 442.
442.
Yes.
I am there, Commissioners.
I think what you're referring to is paragraph 5.8, submission of illicit drugs for forensic analysis. Is that right?
Correct.
And according to that provision, it says that all illicit drugs must be submitted to the chemistry section of the forensic science laboratory, otherwise known as FSL, within 7 days after it is handed in at the police station.
Correct, Commissioners. I see that the paragraph 5.8.
Thank you.
Can I respond, or you you wanted me to respond, or are you just reading?
No, I will come back to it. I'm just making, you referred to the fact that it needs to go for forensic analysis, and you just reminded me that it is part of the protocol that it should go within 7 days to the forensic science laboratory. And I just want to point out two other aspects of the protocol. Paragraph 5.6, sub A, requires that all illicit drugs must be packaged and then sealed separately in evidence sealing bags as per individual case. Do you see that?
I see that, Commissioners.
And then just one more, and that's in paragraph 5.7. 5.7b reads, illicit drugs are kept separate. I'm just reading the relevant part. Illicit drugs are kept separate from other general exhibits in steel cabinets, police trunks, safes and strong rooms that can be locked by only one key handler. Do you see that?
Yes, Commissioners.
Okay. So when the drugs were seized at the warehouse, what would have been the closest appropriate storage space for the drugs?
Commissioners, as I have testified that where the drugs were seized, there is a police station called Isipingo. And the members went to Isipingo to book those exhibits at SAPS Isipingo. And I was informed by the members that Isipingo said they don't have storage facilities, but the seizure can be written into the SAP 13. The forensic science laboratory was called to come to the scene. I think it's Colonel Kuzwayo, and eventually Colonel Kuzwayo informed them that they cannot come to the scene. They only attend the scene where it is a clandestine laboratory. If maybe I have answered your question.
So you say that there's no storage space for drugs at the Isipingo police station. That's what you say.
Yes, that is what my members were informed, and then they further called the forensic science laboratory in KwaZulu-Natal, and then Colonel Kuzwayo, who is the chemistry section commander, told them that they also don't have a facility to store because there was a problem with the flooding.
And is it correct that there's no storage space at Isipingo police station?
That is what I was informed, and it is correct, maybe because of the volume of these drugs. Have you subsequently established that, in fact, there was no storage space at Isipingo police station? I never went to the police station. Okay. When the seizures are happening, Commissioners, I normally don't visit the crime scenes because the members that are there, they are capable of handling the crime scene in terms of this other directive that is on page 446. So it is an expectation that the members will do the due diligence there. And I don't think they will come and tell me that there was space, but we decided to take them there. They did engage immediately, and the counting and weighing and everything happened there at Isipingo SAPS. I'm just asking you whether you were able to establish for yourself then or any time afterwards whether there is storage space at Isipingo police station. Commissioners, no. I didn't go and establish. Okay, that's fine. Is there any...
Mr. Sim, just to be clear, I think you speak of whether there is storage space, and the General is speaking about for that quantity. You understand the distinction? So I think let's be clear what is the point of disagreement, because there may well be storage space in Isipingo, but not for that amount. So I think
No,
that's not
I
clear
mean
what
for that amount. I mean,
Okay.
for these particular drugs.
Okay.
So appropriate storage space.
My members were informed there is no space.
Okay, so I think the answer remains the same. Thank you. Is there any other, so here you have a very large haul of cocaine. Is there any other space close to the site where the drugs were seized where it would be appropriate to store them?
While these challenges were experienced of the storage facility by my members, I have indicated that a brigadier who is responsible for serious organized crime called me and reported this challenge. And he made suggestions that we do have a safe facility where we previously stored large quantities of drugs, and then as a result of us not getting assistance at the Isipingo as well as the local forensic science laboratory, I recommend or suggest that we store it there. Then I said, if we store it there, you say previously there was this type of storage. Then I agreed to that suggestion that there in Port Shepstone, these drugs can be stored. And there, when they were stored, I did went and have a look at the storage facility that the strong safe. And then I saw it is appropriate to store that volume. And then before they were handed in, other exhibits that were in that store were removed so that we can store these drugs. They were stored, I think, alone. They were placed there alone, these drugs. And I was comfortable and happy that this is a safe place to store these drugs.
Okay, so you approved the storage of the drugs at the Port Shepstone Hawks office?
I did agree based on the fact that the forensic laboratory at Amanzimtoti said they don't have storage facility. And then the police station said they don't have storage facility for these drugs. And again, it has been a practice before my time that drugs were stored in that storage facility.
And you said there was no storage facility closer to where the drugs were. That's why Port Shepstone. I mean, how far away from Sipingo is Port Shepstone?
Can be 100 kilos plus. I must just get my calculation, but 100 kilos plus, unless the commissioner wants to assist me.
No, I wanted to. It's just over 100, I think.
Thank you, Commissioner.
So I just wanted to understand if there wasn't any other storage space closer.
No, there wasn't, according to me, where they could have got help. But I don't know if they ask other police stations, because with me, I know that the Pretoria Forensic Laboratory said they are running, they don't have space because they requested me before even this a bust that I need to give a disposal order for certain drugs that were taken to them on a previous occasion. But Commissioners, I must mention that, if I'm allowed, that after this theft, the storage facilities were available. Other drugs we were able to bring them to Pretoria. The police station will keep them for 5 or not more than 5 days. We were put under pressure. I will use my budget to transport those drugs to Pretoria, requesting the combat teams from the Office of the Provincial Commissioner to deliver these other drugs after the theft. And at one instance, I know I didn't say it in my evidence in chief, but now that I'm also questioned, at one instance, the Provincial Commissioner assisted me to transport the drugs to Cape Town Forensic Science Laboratory. So in KwaZulu-Natal, it is a problem.
Okay, so you're saying there wasn't anything closer? There was no other police station closer? That's what you're saying? That's why Port Shepstone
There
was
are
where...
other police stations closer, but...
I mean, with appropriate storage
the-
space,
the-
obviously.
Commissioners, what I was advised of, and then I went and have a look, I was comfortable, and then indeed, previously, the safes, that facility was utilized as a storage facility for drugs. It is an unfortunate situation, Commissioners. This time, under my watch, these ones were stolen.
So I'm interested in why you say it was safe, because were there other break-ins before this at the Port Shepstone office?
Commissioners, after this theft of the trucks, it came to my attention that there was breakings there in relation to people, these street people, hobos, I'm sorry to say so, but it's for lack of a better word.
Homeless.
Come again, sir?
Homeless people.
Homeless.
Yeah, thank you very much. Homeless persons. It's like the disability, persons with disability, they put it somewhere. So, but thank you for assistance. Those homeless persons, they will come and break after the effect, and then I realized that they were stealing in the offices laptops of members. And then they were arrested, and those laptops were recovered. The suspects were arrested. And other breakings, it's also the homeless people. You'll see when I read the reports, it was after the effect when it came to my attention. Then they break the kitchen window in order to come in there using a stone. You'll find a stone that was utilized to break the kitchen window. And these break-ins were discovered by members upon them when they do the visit after hours, sometimes in the morning when they report for duty. Those are there are several incidents that were brought under my attention after the theft. But should I knew this before, maybe my decision to agree would have been otherwise.
When did the theft take place?
Which one?
The theft of these drugs that we are under discussion.
November 2021.
November 2021.
Yeah.
So you be very clear that it was, if you had known, then you wouldn't have done this. Can you please go to page 536? Yes.
Thank you.
So do you recognize this document?
Yes, Commissioners, I do recognize this document.
Can you go to the second page of the document, the last page?
537.
537, yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
And what is the date of the document?
2020-01-22.
January 22, January
2020.
2020.
Correct, Commissioners.
Okay, so almost 2 years, well, a year and 8 to 9 months before the theft took place, right?
Okay, Commissioners.
And who prepared this document?
Commissioners, I see at the bottom there's initial RSR Singh.
Is that the section commander for counterintelligence, KZN?
According to what is written here, correct, Commissioners?
And it was sent to you?
When?
On the same date?
Commissioners, this document, I want us to go to 536 so that I can respond. Page 536. if you look at address B, it says the Provincial Head, Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations, KwaZulu-Natal. Then you go on page 537, the date there, it says 2020-01-2022. It is not possible that this document was sent to me on this date. On this date, I was working at Division Detective Service, the Division Detective and Forensic Services at head office. I was not within the DPCI on this date. I was not a member of the DPCI. So this document, I've never received it.
So it was sent to the provincial head of the DPCI.
At KZN.
At KZN.
Correct, Commissioner.
And you became the provincial head.
Correct, Commissioners.
And this was never brought to your attention. You didn't know about these thefts.
I didn't know about this document as well as the other theft, except that there are only two housebreakings that happened while I was there.
So I'm going to take you back because, let's just actually, before we leave this document, go to paragraph 4 of the document. Because this is what it says about the office itself, the building,
I see
which you then came to be in charge of, right?
Yes.
So paragraph 4 says a general inspection conducted by this office previously of the premises revealed the following in terms of MISS security measures. 1, no CCTV cameras are installed in and around the premises. 2, there's no early warning alarm systems in place within the office space, more especially in offices located on the ground floor. 3, no beam sensors located exterior to the office accommodation. And then if you go to the comments, it's the recommendations of how to address those shortcomings. Correct?
Correct.
Were those shortcomings ever fixed?
Commissioners, I was not privy to this document. I agree that address B is the provincial head before my time. And I've already indicated a few minutes ago that this document, I've not seen it before until such time that the Commission has provided me with this document.
Okay. So let's go.
Sorry, Advocate. It's going to be difficult for me to talk about this document. Hence, it was never brought under my attention. I saw it when I was presented. It was presented by the Commission.
We don't need to talk about the document. You've confirmed that this was the findings in 2020. I asked you whether those had been addressed, because this is now about the office, the building. So what I was asking you is whether there are now CCTV cameras, early warning system, beam sensors, etc.
All I know, the alarm system was there when the theft took place. But this is the recommendations, but all I know, the alarm system was in place. And further to that, I did apply for security personnel to be appointed in order to be deployed there to guard the building. Now recently, they advertised the post now recently. Even the process of shortlisting and appointing, it has not yet started. Now. I think, January, this month.
Oh, so after the theft?
Correct.
Okay. And if you look at, so this report that we were just looking at is attached to a report by General Mosikidi, which is at page 428. 528, apologies.
528.
528.
I see that.
And if you see paragraph 1 says the purpose of this information note is to appraise the national head on the feedback regarding the housebreaking and theft of 541 kg cocaine from serious organized crime unit officers at number 2 Princess Elizabeth Drive in Port Shepstone. That's the Port Shepstone Hawks office, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And General Mosikidi says about the thefts, if I can just find the right paragraph. Yes, about the security aspect. It's page 533.
533.
Yes. Before I go here, can you please remind me, General, when did you take over the position of provincial head in KZN?
I was appointed on the 1st of August 2020. Then I reported on the 1st of, was it? On September. 1st or 2nd of September. I don't know if it is a Monday, the 1st. Then I started on the 1st. If it
Page
is
7 of your CV.
CV.
Your CV. It says 1 August 2020. That's when you assumed the position.
Is the appointment, which means that is the date of appointment, Commissioner. And then what happens is, if I may just clarify that one, when you are appointed, you don't, it is difficult for you to go immediately. What happens where you are, you must have the process of handing over. And clearing up the office, you go and do the visit, you must look for accommodation before you go there. Because when you go there, you must already have accommodation. Because I was from Gauteng here at head office, in Pretoria, head office, commissioners. So physically, I took up the post, I think it was the 1st or 2nd of September.
Of 2020?
Of 2020.
Okay. All right, so now if we look at page 533, under paragraph 4, General Masikiri deals with what she calls the security aspect. And she notes that the Port Shepstone office was broken into 8 times since 2011. But if you look at the last 3 instances, they were 15 January 2021, 11 October 2021, and then, of course, the 8th November 2021. So those 3 were while you were the provincial head, correct?
No, incorrect. Commissioners, I'm saying it is incorrect. It is correct with the last 2, not the last 3. Sorry,
I thought you said 20
pardon?
September 2020.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I think I missed this year. Yeah, January. Yeah. Yes, commissioners. Yeah, correct.
Correct. It's the last 3, correct? Yeah. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. These last 3 took place when you were the provincial head.
Yes.
And in fact, the second last one, 11 October, was the month before the theft of this 541 kgs of cocaine. It was just the month before.
Just a month before,
yes.
Commissioners. Can I say this? The last one is the actual theft of the cocaine. The last one.
Yes.
So before the actual theft of the cocaine, that's why I was confused earlier. It was 2.
I think we've agreed that the last 3, while you were provincial head, and that's right, the last 3 instances here.
That is not in dispute.
Okay, all right. I'm
However,
not sure why you're revisiting it. So I'm pointing out...
The revisiting advocate, commissioners, sorry. Okay.
Start from the beginning what you were saying, General.
When I say the revisiting.
Yes.
The revisiting, it was to say, this was the last one, is the actual theft. The 2, they happened before the actual theft. That is the revisiting. I wanted to clarify that, Commissioners.
Yes, no, we're clear on that. All three happened while you were provincial head.
Correct?
Yes. And I'm saying that the second last one happened just the month prior to the theft of the 541 kg.
Correct?
And if you turn over the page, 534, at paragraph 4.4, General Mosikidi says, based on this glaring security breaches, it is not clear what motivated the provincial management to consider the Port Shepstone as a safe place to store drugs of such high value. What is your comment on that?
Although I've seen this document when I was presented with the files by the Commission, I'm saying, Commissioners, these breakings, from the actual theft, the last two, they happened under my watch. And these top ones, all of them, they didn't happen under my watch. And I was not aware about them. The only ones that I'm aware of is these two. Already, when this one of October happened, we gave directives that they must speedily finalize the investigation of these drugs because we needed the Section 212 report in order for us to make a decision to dispose this. And these two are those breakings where I said the homeless people, where we say we saw the stone, they utilized a stone to break the kitchen window, of which we believe those people were looking for food. It was not something that was very, very serious that it can cause a concern. But I do see the paragraph 4.4 of General Musikidi, and based on what was presented before her, when she wrote this report, these things were presented before her. Earlier,
continue, General.
Hence, earlier I said, if I knew about this series before, I wouldn't have maybe agreed. It would have changed my decision to agree to store there.
General, I just for clarity, I want to deal with the two break-ins just before the theft of the drugs. CAS 165, January 2021. Where exactly was the break-in in respect of that, and what was stolen?
It was on the side of the kitchen door, Commissioner. On the side of the kitchen, a kitchen window pane was broken by a stone. Yes, Commissioner.
And what was stolen on that occasion?
There was nothing. There was no entry. They couldn't gain entry.
And then CAS 116 of October 2021, the break-in, where exactly was that and what was stolen?
I'm going there, Commissioners. 116.
Yes.
Commissioners, they couldn't gain entry. It was also the same modus operandi. The window pane was broken by a stone.
And then when was the break-in that resulted in the theft of, did you say laptops? Please just remind me, you did say when that was.
Yes.
I thought perhaps that there was one of these two.
It's not one of these two, Commissioners.
When was that one?
It's the ones before me. I can't exactly, I'm unable to
All right.
tell the Commissioner
All
now,
right.
this is this, until if I can be given opportunity to
No,
request a report.
I have the clarity I need. Thank you very much, General.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Ms. Shasim.
Thank you. So you were aware of the thefts from before your time?
Which ones now? I know about these two. I became aware
Sorry, the
of
laptop theft, when did that happen?
Commissioners. I indicated I knew about this after the fact. These others.
Oh, I see. The
Yeah.
laptop theft you discovered after the fact.
I was informed about them after the fact.
So,
Sorry, Ms. Shasim. And the thefts were from offices, you
Yeah.
said.
Well, if I remember very well, I think they broke windows. They were breaking windows, and then the battlers, then they will break those things, go into the office, steal a laptop, go. According to what was.
When I refer to the office, I'm trying to make a distinction between the safe or strong room and offices. So were the thefts from offices or from the strong room?
From offices, Commissioner, not the storeroom.
Yes, Ms. Shasim.
thank you, Chair. So I just want to ask the following, based on what had been recommended by the earlier report we were looking at. And you'll see it's, General Moskidi refers to it, she says, in 4.3, but it's really over the page,
4 points.
the bullet points. What I'd like to ask you is whether there are perimeter beam sensors around the ground floor of the office.
There are no perimeter beams. I indicated that the only thing that I know that is there is the alarm system that was there. And then I further indicated that I participated in ensuring that we need security guards. Currently, they've just advertised posts. The process of appointing security guards for those buildings is underway.
And there are no infrared sensors in the interior offices. There are no infrared sensors.
No, there are no infrared sensors.
And the alarm system that you had at the time, the drugs were stored there, was the alarm connected to an armed response company?
The alarm was connected to the owner. I can't recall if there was an armed response as well as the acting unit commander's phone. If anything happens, there are no people. You get some sense of, you get either a call or some sense of notices that there is something that is not right. And I know this because in my old office, it was connected to me, to my cell phone.
Okay, and then the last one was what was required was upgrading and repairs of the perimeter lighting. Can you comment on the perimeter lighting of the building?
Which one? Page?
Sorry, where I was, 534.
534. Paragraph?
It's the same bullet points that I was dealing with.
Which bullet? Oh, the last one.
Yes.
The last bullet. Commissioners, I've never visited these offices during the night. I'm unable to talk to this one. Late at night, I'm unable to talk to this one.
Okay.
If it's one of the storage facilities that you use, wouldn't you check and have an interest at least in the security of the place? How secure is it? And I think consider the question against that kind of background, that you are the head and then you would have an interest in where exhibits are stored, and so and that interest would include how secure the place is.
Commissioner, thank you for that question. The fact that there were previous storage there at that facilities I took comfort of that, and the offices, there is a street here, and I don't want to assume that there are lights, but I've never visited it after hours. Maybe one would have maybe asked that, but I took comfort because previously there were storage and nothing happened to those storages.
When were
General,
those?
just a moment. What worries me is that your evidence yesterday, you showed us a photograph from June 2018, July 2018, and you said they've stored drugs here before in 2018, and based on that, I took comfort that this facility is safe. But now we are seeing that in 2011, 2018, 2020, twice, 2021, twice, there were these incidents. Did you not inquire about the facility before you took the decision that the drugs should be stored there?
It never crossed my mind. I didn't, Commissioner.
So
Because
your reliance on the 2018 incident, that was after the fact. It's not like you had investigated and determined that this is a safe facility because in the past few years things were stored here and nothing happened.
I took comfort into that, Commissioner. That's why I agreed for the exhibit to be stored there.
But when did you learn that in 2018 drugs were stored at the same facility? When did you become aware of that?
While they were still there at the Isipingo, before we made it in storage, there were phone calls that were made, Commissioners. That is when I've learned about that. On the day of the seizure, there at Isipingo.
How long were that 2018 that gave you comfort, how long were those drugs stored at the Port Shepstone office?
I can't give an exact time, but until the case was finalized, one will have to go and check the records so that I can be able to give the exact, because the records must be there. We will just check the case number and everything and check the record. Then I'll be able to provide the exact time frame.
Okay, so your response to the Commission on the issue of safety of the office is that you took comfort in the fact that in 2018 there were drugs that were stored there, but you didn't otherwise do any checks yourself on the security and safety features of the office.
The security and safety features, I didn't check, but I said I went on the day when these exhibits were placed there. I inspected the safe myself. I was there.
No,
And,
I'm just distinguishing for now between the safe and the building itself, because it seems it wasn't that difficult to get into the building.
You say it seems, but according to me, I took comfort because I also went and have a look at the safe about that. I do not have any other explanation of that, but I've never went and checked the lights as it was indicated here, these beaming perimeters, and then I didn't have knowledge of these previous breakings by then. And for me, when I look at that place, it was not going to be easy for a person to go in and go in that, as well as when you look at the safe itself. I don't think we have a capacity here to open that safe without a key. The way it was opened. I don't know if the commissioners, the photos that you're having are black and white, but I have something that I can share with you just to have a glance of it on a smallanyana color to see that these people, they know what they were doing. There are people who have a special skills in order to deal with these things. So when I went there, I was 100% convinced, because when I arrived, there were firearms in that safe. Then I caused that to be removed because you can't store the drugs with any other exhibits. You have to remove and put those drugs there. That is what we did, Commissioners.
That's fine. I just wanted to check with whether you had done any other checks on the safety and security of the premises itself. But we've got your answer on that. And part of your answer is, well, there's the strong room. We looked
General,
at...
sorry, Advocate. Sorry, Ms. Hassim. General, you did a bit of sign language there, which I couldn't follow. Were you making a point?
No,
which appeared to be directed at me.
I wanted to show the Commissioners this thing in color.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, if somebody can come and help, you'll see that this thing is heartbroken. Now that thing comes back now. But why? Why me?
Or just...
You must just page up like this and show them. That pain comes back, Commissioners. Even the day I leave the police, the pain will never go away.
Sorry, General, are we only looking at this one page or two pages?
No, you can.
Oh.
Please show both, Council, or have you've seen it? Thank you. In the meantime, General, if you could just explain this to the very first picture. I was expecting to see right through, but there's something that seems to be at the back, and I can't see through. What's happening there?
Commissioner, what happens, they cut the external part, and then inside the door, inside there is a sort of a panel, and then where they cut like this, what can read, they put an hand, because these people knows inside that hole, and there are this mechanism inside
also,
there.
once you've cut the outer part,
Yeah,
and then there's what appears to be hollow in the middle.
Yes.
Between what I say is at the back,
Yes.
and the front that has been cut.
Correct.
So in there, there's something that you can manipulate and then open the door.
When you cut like this, what I can read or by observation, after cutting, you put a hand and then there's a mechanism here. Then once you I think they turn it and the door opened.
Thank you, General.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thanks for showing us those pictures. I think we have some of those pictures, but they're in black and white, so it helped to see it in color.
Correct.
Now, what is obvious from those pictures is that it would have taken a very serious instrument to grind into the door and cut into that metal in order to open it the way it eventually was opened. Is that right?
Correct, Commissioners. I've indicated that it needed special skill and special tool, because a normal grinder will never cut that safe.
And there are two strong rooms.
There are two, yes.
And the people who did this knew which strong room to go to,
They only broke this one.
the
and
one
they
with the
took
drugs.
yeah.
And how long would it have taken to complete that exercise of cutting through the metal?
I don't know, but it would have taken them some time because it was over a weekend. Because the theft was reported to me, I think it was Monday. It was over a weekend. So I can't tell you the exact time frame, how long will it take for people to do that, take the drugs out and do that. So hence I said on Tuesday that I believe from my observations that there were a number of people, they were not very few.
And it would have been very loud.
I don't know because of the instrument. If they use the normal grinders that we know, it will make noise, of course.
I mean, if you just know if your neighbor is building something and they use a grinder, it creates a noise. And this would require something even more than usual.
It's possible. It's possible.
Okay. So they did go straight to the strong room where the drugs were kept.
According to my observation, after they went in, as I explained on Tuesday, they cut this one and they found the drugs. But that was also a worrying factor. Why they never cut the other one? We don't know what was in their mind, however, but I believe somebody might have sold us from within. Might have given them the layout, because if you don't know that place, you'll never know they are walking safe.
So, okay, I think that's fine. I just want to ask you one other thing a couple of other things about this. I read a part of the protocol that there should be one key handler. And as I understand, you took possession of the key to the safe.
Correct, Commissioners.
And in General Mosekiti's report, at page 530, just lost it, page 530, at paragraph 2.2.8,
Yes.
she says the following day, this is the day after the seizure and the day after the storage of the drugs, so it's
Correct.
23 June 2021. Captain Sibia, KG, Captain Fries, Captain Ntanzi, together with Warrant Officer Mpangase, proceeded to the Port Shepstone office to retrieve samples from the exhibits and forward to FSL for analysis. The keys to the strong room are kept at provincial head offices, and prior arrangements were made for the keys to be made available for the members. Is that consistent with protocol?
This is consistent because, for me, now it also answers that question of the safetiness. There was a warrant officer who was appointed to manage those safes. But after this cocaine was stored there, I took the keys. There are two keys, not one. I took the keys in my possession. On that day, I locked them in a safe in my office, at the provincial office. The warrant officer Mpangase was the investigator of the seizure of the cocaine. He came to my office, asked for the keys. I let him sign for one key. I kept one. He signed, he went and did his job. In the afternoon, he brought it back. So that, why did I take the two keys, Commissioners? So that I didn't want to be with one key. The drugs are stolen I'm having a key, another person is having a spare key, automatically, if a key was used, automatically I become a person of interest. So I took both keys for safety. Whoever wants to come, he will go with other people, then do whatever he needed to do, because the only thing that they needed to do by then, it was to get the samples and show the forensic illness and everything to send to forensic science laboratory for analysis.
So General Mosikiti refers to several people, not just the warrant officer Mpangase. And I'm asking you, is it not a risk? Is this not a breach of the protocol? Because it puts a key in the hands of several other people who could have made a copy or anything.
You know what the risk is? These members were involved in the season. The risk is you give one person the key, he goes there on his own, and those things that are no more 541 is a short. That is the risk. But if you if these people went together there, there's no way that another one will start to steal or another one will tell another one to steal. So that is something.
So you saw this as a security to have more people?
Yeah, because they knew these ones again. They were part and parcel of the Caesar, the drug squad in Devon.
Okay. I just want to, because it's such a large seizure, it's at half a ton of cocaine, did you not think you should have oversight? And if you took the key and you said you're going to keep it, should you not have retained control of the key throughout the process? Meaning if something had to be done at the strong room, that you would accompany?
I'm the provincial head. I can give directives to people to go do the job. It does not necessarily mean I must do the job. Like, let me put it in this perspective. The DPP of a province does not necessarily read the dockets and make decisions. He's got people who are doing the job for her. She reads, she brings the panel of advocates, then it's like me. So, and I asked them to go there, and they did their job and brought the keys back. But over and above that, during my office visit, when I took up my post, I gave all the offices, not the Port Shepstone one, because I was visiting them one by one, that offices must be visited between 1812 midnight and between 2 and 6 o'clock in the morning. And on that day, I think there was a warrant officer, Kuchelenberg, and a Captain Leroux, and the unit commander. I further informed them, in the presence of my brigadier, that the offices must be visited. I gave them the very same times again.
You informed them at the time of this, because you informed them because the drugs were there, and so it was to protect that drug haul. Is that right?
I'm not sure if you heard me well.
You can just say yes or no. Maybe I didn't, and that's why I'm clarifying.
I want you to understand me properly. I did it before even we stored the drugs. This directive. Yes. When you took up office, I'm not sure that's what I did. When you took up office, you will go and visit all your members, and so that you can also be able to know where are the offices that are resorting under you. In that period, it was in 2020. During that process, I gave this directive.
I understand that. I'm asking.
Can I finish?
Yes, please do. Please,
Commissioners. Then, on the day of the storage, I repeated it again. I told them, I think if you look at it, there is a statement there of Colonel Prinsloo, he will say so. That is, I'm trying to respond to the issues of this paragraph 2.2.8, that further than this, I informed the people to do their visits.
So there are affidavits here, and there are several affidavits that contradict that. Can I take you to page 557? Okay, in
Correct.
paragraph 2.
Yes.
At no stage before and or after the housebreaking that occurred between 5 November 21, 8 November 21 at the Port Shepstone DPCI offices was I ever given any written or verbal instruction by any officer to visit our offices after hours or on weekends to make sure that everything was in order at the office. And it goes on. And then it says the times that I did visit the office was on my own initiative because of the previous breakings we had our offices. However, I do recall that our previous acting commander, Lieutenant Colonel J.J.P. Prinsloo, did ask the office personnel to visit the office when they are in the area without giving any specific reason. This is from a detective warrant officer. What's your response to that?
You said it's contradictory, but the answer is there, you read it. On the same paragraph, there is an answer there. So my response is, the members knew, because when you look at this statement, it was taken now to, I think, September 2025, but they knew these members.
No, it doesn't say that. It says, at no stage, before or after the housebreaking that occurred between 5 November 2021 and 8 November 21 at the Port Shepstone DPCI offices, was I ever given any written or verbal instruction by any officer to visit our offices after hours or on weekends to make sure that everything was in order at the office. And this is important because you said that at the time you gave this instruction. And I'm saying this officer says something different.
I don't know why he said something different, commissioners, but I did give this directive. You look at, we provided a statement to the evidence leader of Colonel Prinsloo. I don't know if it was shared with the commissioners. If it was shared, I want to invite the commissioners. We go, it's a page that we gave, pages. I'm not sure if it was annexed chart here, but
Ms. Mafisa, was it shared with us?
Chair. Yes, Chair.
Thank you. We have it now, General. Where do you want to take us?
let's look at paragraph 8, commissioners.
And this is a statement by
Lieutenant Colonel Prinsloo.
Jeremiah Pietras Prinsloo.
Yes, paragraph 8. From the bottom of that paragraph, we'll read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll see it starts with General Senona. There at the end, towards the end of the 5th line from the bottom.
Oh, yes.
Paragraph 8.
8, line 1, 2, 3, 4.
And this affidavit, commissioners, it was signed on the 25th of 11, 2021. This affidavit by Colonel Prinsloo. Can I read where I wanted to take the commissioners? It says, General Senona requested us to have regular visit to the office after hours. The members then left and Warrant Officer van der Berg secured back the security door by the kitchen with a chain and padlock. This one I forgot I forgot about it because it's not me. You can see that an additional security feature was done, that a chain and a padlock were also procured so that they can lock at the door at the kitchen at the back, because that is why these homeless people, they were breaking that window. They couldn't come in there because the lock, it was locked from inside with a chain. So you will never be able to open it from the outside. So this issue of contrary, I think we need to also, if there was ample time, commissioners, to go and have a look at the statements of these members by then, the initial statement, because these are additional statements that the advocate is talking about. Maybe they will give us a clear perspective, but this is the boss of the office. that I gave this directive to. And the expectation was that in the parade, police, when they report on duty, they come to a room, they parade the detectives, and then they talk, they discuss the daily issues and so forth. There and there, I think there was a statement that I read that says, during parade, Lieutenant Colonel Prinsloo informed us to visit the office after hours. It's just that I'm looking for that one. I'm unable to trace it here on the bundle of documents. Thank you, Commissioners.
Was it a request or was it an instruction?
You know, in the police, when he wrote like this, it is an instruction. In the police, we don't normally, the language of the police language is not a request, it's an instruction.
And so would there be a log, an occurrence book or some sort of entry to show that between these hours, which officer patrolled the area, did a site inspection and a site visit every single day between what hours?
There should be, because the instruction was that OB entry must be done to that effect, to the effect of the visit.
So have you seen such entries?
Look, the criminal investigators, they took a lot of stuff. The only thing that I was having after the break-in is only these copies that I did for me. But further than that, I don't know.
Okay, so did you check at the time, did you check that these inspections were taking place?
I didn't have opportunity to go and check, Commissioners. My heart was bleeding that who did this. My wish was that we need to arrest these people and recover this cocaine. That I didn't check. But my focus, the priority by then, was to try and identify and arrest these perpetrators.
I accept that, but would it not be important for you to do that check because you had such... what's the street value of the cocaine that was stored?
541.
The street value.
541. 200 million.
It was over 200 million.
No, 200.
It was exactly 200 million.
That's what we were informed, Commissioners.
So you had 200 million rand worth of cocaine stored in the offices. I'm asking whether it would... Do you not think it was appropriate for you to ensure that there was greater security around the offices, including by checking that visits were being made by officers?
Commissioners, I believe the actions that I've taken, they were sufficient enough to ensure that those exhibits were secured. The issue of the padlock, the issue of giving instructions of the visits, the issue of the walk-in safe, the strong room, the issue of taking the keys that not two people must be able to have the keys. I believe I did what was necessary. I know the advocate is asking me, was it not necessary for you to go and check? But I believe it was necessary. Because, and I believe the members were doing the due diligence.
So let me understand this. This theft happened over a weekend, either on a Saturday or a Sunday,
Correct.
the 6th or the 7th of November. And I see from your statement that some police officers would go to that office from time to time. But there was nobody stationed there permanently.
Correct.
Yeah.
There was nobody stationed there permanently, Commissioners. You'll realize that on that weekend, members went to the offices.
Yeah, but he only went there to pick up something and he smelled something. He thought it was load shedding.
And also the unit commander went to visit the office, Commissioners. Even previously, when I asked in terms of the guards, there were no guards that were posted there permanently. And I think in the statement of Colonel Prinsloo, you'll see, let me check that paragraph, where he said he also requested the K9 to patrol the area of the surrounding, the K9 of that area, Commissioners.
I mean, I'm no expert on policing and how you store your exhibits, but it seems reckless to me that half a ton of cocaine is stored in a remote location. There's just a safe there and a padlock, but there's nobody guarding it. Which means if anybody wants to break in at night, they can do so because there's no appropriate security. And they have enough time to even use a grinder to break the safe and go in and steal this cocaine, which is in fact what happened. I'm assuming that's what happened. Let me not say in fact.
Commissioners, I believe I did everything in my power to secure the cocaine. And over and above that, mandrakes were stored to the value of 254 million, the value above this one, on a previous occasion, as well as hashish compressed dagga. It's a very expensive dagga, that hashish. It's a pity I don't remember how much was the street value of that. So I believe I did the right thing. I did all that I could do to safeguard those exhibits there. But I said after the theft, there is space to store cocaine. There is space to store cocaine. And I don't know before why we were informed there's no space, we can't do this. Now even police stations, but they want you to only leave those things for a week. It can't go over the weekend. Then I indicated I had to pay from my budget the combat people to transport these exhibits because they are a subject of a case that is investigated in my office. Pretoria has been receiving them. And currently, that is the practice that is being done if we seize drugs, commissioners.
General, it seems though that Colonel Prinsloo himself was not happy with the security of that place. I mean, it's his office. He says in this statement that you have given us, at paragraph 10, he says, I was not comfortable with it being stored in my office as the security of my office is not up to standard. So you've got a person who's in the place, who knows the place better than you do, and he tells somebody in this statement that I was actually uncomfortable because the security there was not good. And you from outside, you say it was a very safe place.
Commissioner, the previous unit commander before Prinsloo is a Brigadier Nyuso. I think the 2018 storage, he was the unit commander there. Now, this paragraph, I saw it, but this was never brought under my attention. When I look at it, it seems he told a brigadier here who was there at the office. But even this brigadier never came and advised me, General, there is this 1, 2, 3. We need to do something. If it was brought under my attention, maybe one would have taken additional and necessary steps to deal with the situation.
Well, I guess my point really is, yes, you may have taken the steps that you have described, but from Colonel Prinsloo, it seems that that place in the first place was not good enough, secure enough, and so maybe your reliance on history and what you were told by a person who suggested Port Shepstone, as we now know, was shot, because here's Mr. Colonel Prinsloo, who knows that place, says I wasn't happy that these things are here.
I agree with you, Commissioner. The only challenge is it was never brought under my attention. I would have taken action. If he says so, I would have asked and say, you say you are not happy, what is your suggestion, what do you think? And then so that we can do any other thing that we can do to ensure that that place is safe. Because after the seizure, I did report this to my supervisor by then. I think I said it on Tuesday. But I see this paragraph. I agree with you, Commissioner. It is an unfortunate situation. It was never brought under my attention.
Thank you, Ms. Sesson.
Thank you, Commissioner Beloy. On that point, General, can you look at page 550? This is an affidavit by the very same Prinsloo, right? If you look at the
Yes.
name at the top.
Yes.
And he, in this affidavit, explains, it's a different affidavit to the one that you've provided us with, but it's by the same person. And he explains, we'll see in paragraph 3, the office was previously fitted with an alarm that was monitored by National Security and Fire. During April, we did an application to the provincial office to be on a month-to-month contract with National Security as we were waiting the procurement process. Paragraph 4, during May, an application was done to upgrade the alarm system. This office was told to get 3 new security companies to tender for the upgrading and monitoring of the alarm system, which was done and submitted via our provincial office for approval. To date, this was never approved. During December, the office received notification from National Security that due to non-payment, they've removed us from their system, and so on. And he ends in paragraph 7, the provincial office was well aware of the security problems that we faced at this office. This affidavit was written on 26 July 2022. He says the provincial office was well aware of the security problems that we faced at this office. That goes to the point that you just made.
Yes. You know, if he says he reported this to the provincial office, as I've unpacked how the DPCI offices are, I am of the view that when he says he reported this to the provincial office, it never came to my attention. I believe he might have sent it to the supply chain management because the procurement and everything of these things is dealt with by our supply chain management. And I'm also emphasizing, I'm again emphasizing, if it came to my attention, commissioners, I would have devised some means to assist and take and protect these exhibits there.
General, there's a basic question that it seems you should have asked, given the value, well, not just the value, but the substance itself, such as, do we have an alarm system? And in this, which Ms. Hassam has just read now, Colonel Prinsloo says they were taken off the alarm system in
December 2020.
And this incident is in
December.
2021.
The incident is 2021, commissioners.
So you are already in office. They are removed from the alarm system, notification system in December 2020. There is this, you go there, you approve that it's okay, it's a safe place, but you don't ask what I thought would have been, your first question: do we have an alarm system? So that it is triggered if anyone tries to get in, but you don't even check that. But in fact, we do have a record that says there is no system. The provincial office knows we don't have an alarm system.
According to me, commissioners, the alarm system was there. I think when I understand this affidavit that I'm seeing here of Colonel Prinsloo, the second one, is that when I read, when the advocate was reading it, my understanding was that there was this security who fitted the alarm system. That was monitored by them, but it was never removed, according to my understanding of this. Because once you have this type of a security system.
No, General, read paragraph 5. It says
paragraph 5.
5. It says, during December 2020, this office received notification from National Security that due to non-payment, they have removed us from their system and will not be rendering any services at our unit Am I wrong?
No,
to-
I see that, Commissioner.
You see that
You're
now?
correct.
Okay.
You're correct.
All right.
You know, the challenging part is this was never brought under my attention. I think they were dealing with the supply chain issues of the buildings in our province. Supply chain, they have these facility managers with supply chain in the supply chain offices who are dealing with that. And then at our head office, we have a colonel who also deals with them. Normally, if there are challenges, the supply chain at the province will talk with the supply chain at national. But this was never brought under my attention, commissioners. I fully agree about what he wrote here,
Yes.
and I can't dispute it because it was not brought under my attention, but he might have reported to the supply chain at the province, which means my members there failed to come and inform me about this type of a thing.
Yes. I mean, I'm prepared to accept it was never brought to your attention for purpose of a discussion, but it's really back to the point that Commissioner Kumalo discussed with you earlier, that you arrive on the day when this consignment or this drug haul is being put there, and then you say you satisfied yourself that there was, so even on the day itself, you say you satisfied yourself, but then what I'm raising with you, that I would have expected that one of the things you would have satisfied yourself about is there's no alarm system.
I've
That would
taken
be
notes,
true.
Commissioner.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I must also bring to your attention, General, that in addition to the affidavit I referred you to on page 557, if you can just go to page 559. You'll see a detective warrant officer, an affidavit.
Warrant Officer Pinar,
Yes.
559, correct.
Yes. He says that in paragraph 2, I cannot remember the dates and or time when Lieutenant Colonel J.J.P. Prinsloo, our previous acting commander, asked us on office lectures to visit the office after working hours and or weekends if we are in the office area. I presumed that the reason for Lieutenant Colonel Prinsloo asked all the office personnel to visit the office was because we had previous office break-ins. And then he explains more about the risks, and he ends, I must clearly state that I did not know and was never told by anyone until the break-in at the walk-in safe of any drugs being kept at our office. So he says that what he knew was that the previous acting commander asked them during office lectures to visit when they were in the area, which is not the same as patrolling much more purposefully in order to secure the office because there were expensive contents. Do you want to say anything about that? Because there are a couple of others.
This is one of the statements that I said. He said during parades, so it's a lecture. A lecture and a parade is more or less the same thing.
Okay.
All your personnel will come there. You deal with correspondences and other management issues there, which means all the members knew that they are supposed to visit the offices after hours. But the mere fact that Colonel Prinsloo put it the way he put it, I don't know why he put it, because as for me, in his statement, he said, I requested them to visit the office after hours and so forth, of which, when you say request, you ask me whether is it a request or an instruction, and in the police we give instructions, we don't request. It's just that people are modernizing things, but we give instructions. Even if I say, I requested that you must visit complainant so, there is this type of a complaint or this type of information. The way we talk to people we say I request, but actually it is an instruction. So I don't know why these members are saying Colonel Prinsloo told them to visit after hours or weekends when they are in the area. Because the instruction was that the offices must be visited.
Okay, at 561.
Before you do 561, can I just, in fairness to you, General, what I discussed with you about the alarm being, the service not being offered anymore for non-payment, Colonel Prinsloo, though, says elsewhere in his statement that on the day that the drugs were brought in and after locking up, they switched on the alarm system. So it seems that in 2021, there was an alarm that was working. You may not have been aware of it because you didn't ask the question, but he seems to say that. So I just thought, let me correct what may have been a misstatement.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Really appreciate it.
I think that the issue, Commissioner Beloy, is that the alarm is insufficient without being linked to a company, a security company that will monitor the area, there'd be an armed response if there's something to alert, an alarm that will alert someone to do. Otherwise, you can just switch off an alarm and continue. And I think that's what Prinsloo was concerned about, and that's why he said that he was not comfortable with the drugs being stored in his office, as the security of my office is not up to standard.
No. I had put to the General that there was no alarm system at all. Yes, so that's all I'm correcting.
So I just need to complete these statements just for the sake of completeness. I did two affidavits. There's another at page 561, and this is a van den Berg, and paragraph 2. And the question he's answering in paragraph 2 is, was instruction given to visit the office after hours and make an OB entry, and by who? And he says, I cannot remember being given such a direct instruction. So again, it comes back to this, what I was asking you, an instruction versus a request.
Commissioner.
So he says, let me just finish and then you can respond. I cannot remember being given such a direct instruction. I do remember Colonel Prinsloo repeatedly requesting the office members on morning parade to visit the office after hours when they can, or when they are in the vicinity of the office, due to the repeated problems we had with break-ins and attempted break-ins. Now, again, it's what the others were saying. It's like a nice to have. If you're in the area, pop in.
But, Ms. Hasim, I find it odd. These read the same, and I think this is the third one now. And they all read the same. And, I'm just making.
They are quite similar, and I think, I'm not going to speculate. There were obviously questions were being posed in a post-theft investigation, and I think that's why these affidavits were prepared. So questions were being posed, and the officers were answering. And other than that, I can't say more.
Did the same person draft the statements for them and basically note exactly the same thing? It's quite similar. I'm just making an observation.
I think it is important for me to put to the witness that there are a series of affidavits.
I'm not stopping you, Mr. Hassan.
And I don't know more than that. I do see that there are similarities,
Yes,
and sometimes similarities are a good thing, and sometimes
they may be a bad
may raise
thing,
questions.
Commissioner.
Yes, General.
And then
I want to bring under the attention of the Commissioner that these statements were taken on the same month, and then I want to check same date, 2nd of September 2025. Hence, earlier I said the initial statements that the members have deposited are not here. So if one was having that, one would be able to do a comparison. But you 100%, because I was going to ask the commissioners that this it is a copy, sort of a copy and paste type of a statement. But thank you very much, commissioners.
Thank you, General. Yes, please continue, Mr.
Thank you, Chair. Prinsloo's affidavit from 2022 says that he's had serious concerns about this. So I'm not going to go back to that. The next affidavit is at 567. And it's paragraph 3, and this is 567. 567. And as I say, I do think these were all taken in the course of a subsequent investigation. 567, it's a Captain Jeza. And in paragraph 3, he says, I do not remember being informed to visit office after hours during the night and weekends and make occurrence book entry prior or after the drugs were kept in the strong room. However, it was a common practice for members to visit office and write occurrence book if it happened that they had something to do in the office during weekends.
Commissioners?
Yes, General.
It is strange because in a lecture, all the members will be there when they are given this tasking. What he's saying, when you are in a lecture, all the personnel of your office are there when they are given this tasking by the Lieutenant Colonel. But he says this one doesn't even say we were asked to visit when we were there. Thank you, Commissioners.
Yes,
Mr. Mr. Sim, isn't really the point that Colonel Prinsloo does say that General Senona requested that the Port Shepstone people do regular visits to the office after hours. When you started, I thought the point you were seeking to address is the specifics of it, because the General says I gave them time frames, right? Within this period and that period, there must be people walk about, and then at 2 in the morning, between 2 and something. I thought that's the point you were exploring with him, whether he gave that specific instruction. But we have here Prinsloo that, as I understand, is in charge or something. It's his office. He does confirm that the General gave that instruction. That his members, he may not have conveyed that to his members, is a different conversation that the General, I don't know that there's value discussing that with the General, unless you're saying the general evidence is that he addressed everyone in that station and told them, this is what when this drug haul was brought in, and told everybody in the station that you are going to do it this way. Well, what is the point?
Well, there's 2 points. First of all, it's a question of there's conflicting versions here. And I'm trying to establish, because the General said at the time, that is at the time of the seizure of the drugs and storage, a specific instruction was given by him. And it was specific. It was to parole between certain hours and to make OB entries on those patrols. And we have General Prinsloo saying that General Senona requested us to have regular visit to the office after hours. And then we have other affidavits that say that Prinsloo did ask us, but he asked us to do it in this way. Now, why he did that, I don't know. But what I want to know from the General is if he insists that he made specific requests for specific hours to secure 200 million rand worth of cocaine at this office, whether he monitored and checked that those, because they're saying they didn't have that instruction. One way to know whether this happened was to see whether there were any OB entries. And I think what I'm also further saying is that as a head of the Hawks in KZN, where this value of cocaine is kept, that the provincial head has a particular and keen interest in ensuring the safety, and not to just say, well, my officers are there and I've given an instruction and I don't need to do any more. So that's really the thrust of what I'm trying to explore with the General. So, I mean, General, that really is the question, is whether, in the light of these sort of conflicting versions, and particularly, you know, Prince Lou himself saying that he made it known to the provincial office. I heard your response that as the head of the provincial office, it wasn't brought to your attention. But what did you do proactively to ensure that there was round-the-clock monitoring of this high value of cocaine stash at the Port Shepstone office?
I've answered this question earlier that I didn't go and check the OB entries if they were there. I didn't go, I answered. And after the theft, a lot of, I think also the OB was taken and everything. So I didn't go and visit. Look, if you are a head of the Hawks, I understand, or a head of an office or institutions, you have people who are doing certain responsibilities on your behalf. And I strongly believe that the actions that I've taken, from my perspective, they were sufficient enough. But today, before the commission, the commissioners have raised certain issues that I should have also considered, and I'm taking note of that. But asking one question over and over, that my answer will never change. It is still the same. I've never went and checked. Thank you, Commissioners.
Are you saying, with the benefit of hindsight, more could have been done to secure that cocaine, and you accept that? But at the time, you thought the steps you took were sufficient?
At the time, the steps I took were sufficient, but now I'm learning of new avenues that in the near future I must apply.
Because remember, my earlier criticism was, I thought it was reckless that there's nobody guarding those drugs 24 hours a day. People just go there when they have time to simply walk past and check that everything is fine. And that was my criticism. I think, to be fair to you, you said you can see how I can look at it that way.
Correct, Commissioner. What is happening is that when you deal with a situation.
And sorry, I don't want you to repeat. I was simply making the point, because Advocate has seen, there are time constraints. So there's no need to repeat.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Kumala. I think the point is made. I just want to be clear that my questions were in two respects. One is whether you did it, and secondly, whether you considered it an obligation on you to do it. But I think you've answered both of those questions. So we're going to move on from there.
Just one last point. Have any arrests been made? Were these drugs ever found? Because we are 4.5 months, 4.5 years,
4 years
down the line.
Commissioners, I don't know. Ever since...
No. General, have arrests been made, yes or no? Have the drugs been recovered, yes or no? You can't say you don't know.
Remember what I said on Tuesday. The case docket and inquiries were taken away. And in that call-up instruction, they are reporting specifically to certain offices at head office, not to me. But I didn't hear any report that suggested that the drugs were recovered or there is any arrest. So I can't say with certainty because I'm not having inside information of what exactly is happening with the investigation. I am also surprised with statements that are taken after 4 years of this nature. What are these going to help us with the investigation?
General, you are the head, and this happens under your watch. And so this is your loss, right?
Correct.
And you are one of the people that had access, that knew about this, where it is, the setup of the room, and where things are stored. I would have thought that as the owner of this, even though inquiries, investigations are now happening elsewhere, you would ask, you are sufficiently interested. You need to know who of your people, if at all, have anything to do with this. I would have thought you would try to find out. We had witnesses from Ekurhuleni municipality where matters are being their matters are being dealt with by iPad. They didn't sit back. They came to testify and told us the countless times that they have chased up with iPad to find out, where are you with this? I've laid a criminal complaint and you're dealing with it. Where are you? So I'm quite surprised that something so major, that, as you said on day one, it's a blight on your record as well. And potentially, you remain a person of interest as with the other people, because you knew about this hall, you knew where it was stored, and I would have thought that it's a matter that you would want to know and you would chase up to see that head office gets to the bottom of how this happened. And it's difficult to understand that you have done nothing about it.
Commissioners, before the team was established and the case dockets and the inquiry file were taken, we were working on this. After they limited us there and they wrote that letter, I must tell you that it is difficult. It is difficult for me to check that in progress, because even when the team from head office visited KwaZulu-Natal, they never informed me they are there. Up until this day, when they come there, they don't say, General, we are here. Even if they don't tell me what they're going to do with investigation of the theft, it's okay. You don't have to give me detail. They don't, commissioners. So it manifested this thing of me. I said, oh, if this is the situation, let me. Because I remember at one stage, I requested my supervisor that when members are moving from another province to another province, it is important to just let the provincial head know that we are in your area, not necessarily to say, because if the problems arises like with vehicles or any other problems, God forbid, if they are involved in a shooting incident with perpetrators, we need to know, oh, remember, we had our own people. But if you don't know, it is a problem. But the very same team that has been established, ever since they were established, they visited the province to come and do the investigations. I was not even informed about that.
Is there anything that precluded and precludes you from asking your supervisor what's happening with my drugs that were here? Those investigations. I know I would do that if I were in charge of people and my supervisor took over a matter from me, then I have an interest in the outcome because I want to get to the bottom of it. I would ask my supervisor, even in a letter, one line, what's happening with this matter? As Commissioner Khumalo says, it's 4.5 years later. The head of the DPCI, under whose watch this was taken, says, I don't know what's happening.
Commissioners, I understand what you are saying. I wanted to know the progress. I wanted to form part of the investigation. But once they decide they make a directive that these people will be the investigators, they will report to this one and monitor, and the deputy will monitor the progress on a weekly basis. That on its own, for me, it was an instruction that you don't interfere here, staying in your lane. That is how I took it when I read that letter, because it was sent to me as well. The call-up is the establishment of this task team to deal with this. That's what recorded in me. Maybe that's why I'm saying I don't know what is the current status of the case. But there was no reports of some sorts that suggested that there are arrests or there is a recovery. Commissioners.
Thank you. Ms. Asa?
Thank you. Commissioners, I'm going to move off the Port Shepstone, so if there are any other questions from your side, I'm covered. I only have
maybe
one.
one last point before you move off it. From Colonel Prinslow's statement that you gave us, and this is still about, the measures that would have been in place to secure this. It seems that it was known, it was out there somewhere that Port Shepstone is keeping this valuable haul of drugs. And I say that because in that paragraph 10 of Colonel Prinsloo, he speaks about a Brigadier Naika who had come to his to inspect certain SANEP dockets, privately said to talk to him about the cocaine that was stored in the safe. So it's